Okay, we had the new parts come through from the factory. We'll get them on the car ahead of FP1.
Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2018 career mode. Today we are here for the French Grand Prix, round number 8 of the season. And if you guys did miss the last episode at Canada, check it out by clicking the card in the top right hand corner of your screen. An absolutely insane episode and a very good race for us on the back of Monaco and also Spain. Really on a good run of form now, and we've got more upgrades on the card this weekend. As you can see, looking at the R&D tree going into this race, first of all, let's look at the progress this season. So many teams have progressed, and in this race Ferrari have stopped bringing upgrades, and it's Mercedes and also us who really close the gap here, and the next team we're catching is Red Bull, so we're making great progress here and starting to really catch up to the sister team. And speaking of catching them up, there's Daniel Ricciardo. He's my new rival I've chosen, so we are going for the Red Bull big boys here, and we're going to try and see if we can outwork them and outdevelop them and try and get ahead. Also, already some rumours in the paddock that I might be in contention for our mid-season switch to Red Bull potentially. If not mid-season, then definitely by the end of the year, then we're going to be a Red Bull driver going into season 3. But one or the other is looking like a step up is on the cards, because we've been performing brilliantly lately, and Red Bull have noticed. But as you can see, now Friday practice underway here at Paul Ricard. I love the circuit, I really do. It's so much fun in this year's game, and when you've got a car that works and also a setup that works, it's so much better. I was running, I believe, I think I was running 6-7 aero with 7 on the ballast this weekend, and it was working fantastically for me. The car felt great, and a really good balance to the car, I can't lie. I had a little bit of understeer in some corners, but all in all, the car felt great. And as you can see in the practice programs, we did really, really well, and a lot of points to put away into the R&D bank. So all in all, I felt confident and confident and happy and excited for qualifying, because I knew I had a good session in front of me. However, there was a high chance of rain, and this rain was meant to arrive towards the end of Q1 during Q2, so it's going to be right in the middle of qualifying, just like last year. In last year's race, this was the first time we saw wet was in the qualifying last year, albeit that was full wet weather. This time it's looking like intermediates and light rain conditions expected for this session. However, it's still going to be a challenge, and it's going to be a bit of a judge to see if we have improved and if we have come a long way from last season, this time last year. But all in all, it's going to be a good session. I'm looking forward to it. Like I mentioned, the car feels great. I feel personally very confident around this circuit, and I feel like I can really push the car. And the target has to be to get the best of the rest, because Force India, even though they've been quick lately, they're not extremely quick around here, not as quick as the past couple of races. So we've got an opportunity here to try and make something happen. And straight away in Q1, I went out with around 10 minutes to go, because in the last 5 minutes the rain was going to arrive. I basically left it as late as I could to see the track in its best condition before the rain came down. And to be fair, we did some pretty damn good laps, and all in all, it was a very good lap, no real mistakes, and we kept it together. We're looking to basically get through to Q2 using only one set of tyres, and therefore saving a set of ultras for later on in the session. And that's exactly what we got as we come across the line, and we are going to jump all the way into P10, a very good lap there to open things up, and eventually we would go through in P12. No more improvements due to the weather conditions, so we are comfortably through into Q2. And speaking of which, I left it until the end of the session to go out when the conditions were improving, and I was on a decent lap actually on the intermediates. I was about 7/10 off on my first attempt, and my best lap actually on the inters, but then towards the end I made a massive mistake, and this sort of sliding around is normally a sign that the track is getting drier. And I kind of ruined my lap pretty much, with that little bit of slipping and sliding towards the end. I go P14, but I thought to myself, you know what, I think I could risk dries. And then literally on my in lap, as I was just turning down the engine modes, in the top left, Van Dorn switched from inters to ultras, and instantly in my head it made sense to me. So I came in, got the super softs on, the slower tyre, and I managed to cross the line with the second to spare in a super clutch out lap. And as you can see, we're now on a full lap of the Paul Ricard circuit on super softs. And we've got to be careful here, because the track is still very slippery, but you could definitely tell it was ready for dry tyres, and not many people went for the dryers. So there was a big opportunity here to get through into Q3 and also start the race on this tyre, which would give us a much better strategy for the entirety of the Grand Prix tomorrow. Straight away you can see purple sectors everywhere, and all in all it's looking very damn good for us so far in this lap. And now the final corner on the power nice and early, and we're going to go P1 by an absolute landslide, over 2 seconds fastest, and that is us into Q3 on a set of super soft compound tyres. Now it took me by surprise, didn't expect that. We managed to calculate the conditions beautifully, roll the dice, and admittedly on the out lap there was 1 or 2 corner cuts to try and make the lap in time, but I consider that, you know, fair game, because in the F1 games you can't do pit stops in qualifying, which kind of sucks, and you have to do the whole pit procedure, which takes very long. But in Q3, you can see here, I had a weird glitch with my steering wheel locking into place. So with your permission, guys, I basically flashbacked to finish the lap, because I don't know what happened there. My wheel basically locked in place.
Fantastic. That was the fastest lap. You're into P3? P3 on the grid?
And it was kind of like a screen freeze, but then again, I knew I left time on the table during that lap, so we're going to go out again and see what we can do, and we're going to run and board for a full lap in the dry conditions here at Paul Ricard. First of all, turns 1 and 2, really throw the car in there, make sure you've got the confidence in the car to really make it work. The sun was really blinding right on the apex, could not see where the corner was, as we now brake at the 50-meter board down for these next little couple of corners here. Very tricky section, you know, technical section. You need the car to be very good in the low speed corners, using all of the track and curb available to you. Fastest first sector here, that was my strongest sector all weekend. I was so quick through there. Then onto the back straight now, nice exit using the swooping right hander to pick up the speed, open up the DRS, going through the gears, and now you're looking for the 100-meter board. You want to brake just after it, use the track on the right hand side to really bring the car across, and as you can see, a little correction there just to make sure we don't cut the corner, as we now get on the power as soon as possible on the exit, using lots of curbing around here. You can definitely lean on the curbs if you use them in the right way through here, as we now go onto the second part of the back straight, going now through this long swooper, 3/10 up on the time so far. We are flying around this circuit at the moment, and that was a massive middle sector from me, as we now go into this long swooping right hander here with lots of camber down hill into an uphill exit, as we now go through this off cambered left. Very tricky corner, we've got Alonso in front of us giving us some dirty air as we get on the power early on. We've got 2 more corners to go here. It's critical that we get this right. Sector 3 is my worst sector, as we throw it into the penultimate corner. Vettel goes fastest, we brake late into the final corner, second gear, picking up the traction on the exit, 0 wheel spin, nice clean exit, DRS open, and they're going to go up to the line, and we are going to momentarily go P2. A great lap, 2/10 off the pace. However, we would then drop down to P6, but nonetheless still a phenomenal lap there, and a really, really good qualifying session, and P6 for tomorrow's race, starting on super soft compound tyres.
Good day today. Tell us about it from your perspective. It's got to be a relief to qualify that far up the grid. The weather hasn't been ideal in qualifying. What's your take on it? Great! Well, that's everything.
Hello and welcome to the circuit Paul Ricard, current home of the French Grand Prix, an event dating all the way back to 1906. It's been held at many venues over the years, with famous moments from Dijon and Manicourt the feature of many a highlights reel. And let's hope we see more of those in the race today. 6 lefts and 9 rights give us a total of 15 corners here at the circuit Paul Ricard, and a lap covers an overall distance of 3.6 miles. Average speeds will be somewhere in the region of 142 miles per hour, and they'll be maxing out on the Mistral Straight at around 205 miles per hour. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk briefly about Sebastian Vettel. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Kimi Raikkonen's perfect lap yesterday sees him start from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Ricciardo, Max Verstappen, Martinez, Sainz, Hülkenberg, Alonso, and Stoffel van Dorn, Perez, Bottas, Pierre Gasly, and Ocon, Grosjean, Leclerc, Sergei Sirotkin, and Lance Stroll, Ericsson, and Kevin Magnussen rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Right then, here we are on the grid for the French Grand Prix P6, and after a fantastic qualifying, we are looking to do some serious damage here today in the race. I showed signs in qualifying that I could definitely mix it up with the big boys. Ultimately in Q3 they really showed their pace and really picked it up towards the end, but we look raceable, we look quick, and I still can't believe that Q2 was so clutch, but we made it work, and now we're going to have that benefit of starting on the super soft compound tyre, which for strategy purposes does mean that, as you can see on screen, we're going to have a one stop today, and we're going to go from the supers straight onto the softs. There's going to have to be some tyre management. Tyre is going to be pretty damn high, so we need to try and take it easy on the tyres if we can. But it's going to give us a nice advantage going into this race, and I might even, there's potential I could switch it to maybe 2 ultra softs instead of 2 soft tyre stints at the end. So you never know. There's a lot of room for changing here with the strategy. It also depends on safety cars if you ever get one, or VSE. We'll have to wait and see, but it's going to be a good race, an exciting one. I know the soft tyre from last season is a great race tyre, so I don't mind using it. And all in all, it's going to be a competitive race. Target, realistically speaking, is to finish where we are, P6, because I believe the top 5, even though we normally could beat them on strategy, I think they actually qualified on Inters in Q2, so they're going to have the advantage of starting on whatever tyre they want, and it's going to be even fresher than mine. So realistically, if we can finish P6 where we start, I'll be very happy. With that being said, let's jump into it here for round number 8 for the French Grand Prix. Right, here we go then. Let's get ready for the 5 red lights here for the French Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go. It's a decent start for the line. Sainz gets off very well though in the Renault. Got cars to my left and to my right. 3-1 to turn 1 is not the way to go. We're going to have to go on the outside of the first corner. Got a good exit out of the second corner here on the back of Sainz. We're going to go for the outside line. Try and find the grip early on. There we go, nicely done. Verstappen holds on. We're kind of on the outside here, being forced wide by Sainz, who keeps on nudging me here. I'm going to cut across him early on to block off him trying to stay on the inside line, and that is a good start from us. Maintaining our P6, which is great. Now we're going to have to use some high engine modes to try and stay in front. I'm going into the negatives with the fuel here, but this is a massive straight. We need to stay in front of Sainz, and we have done. Now hopefully I can try and pick up the pace. I'm not really sure what the race pace lies compared to the big boys and the top teams, but I want to try and be as competitive as possible. So that means trying to shake off Sainz and doing our thing. The problem is Carlos is on the ultra soft, so he's going to have the tyre advantage on me. So it's going to be hard to try and break away, but I'll try my best, get my head down and see if we can shake him off. Well, that was a strong lap. DRS is now going to be enabled onto lap 3.
DRS is now enabled and will be available to use when you are within 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS zone.
Managed to actually pull away from Sainz and close up to Verstappen, and I think I might have a go at Verstappen here this lap. Sector 1
is dropping back by about 0.3 a lap.
Sector 1 is my strong point, so if I can get close through here to Verstappen, I might have a chance on the back straight of getting past him. There we go, nice and close. Sainz still, I'm going to guess, no, he's not even within DRS anymore. There we go, he's outside of a second, so we can now focus on actually attacking Verstappen rather than defending from Sainz. If we can get past the Red Bull, that'd be fantastic. We're starting again here on Max. Not close enough though on this first straight, I don't think. He goes defensive slightly, which compromises his line. I'll try and set myself up. There's still a massive straight here. I've not had the best exit. Back in, getting a little bit loose. We're going to try and get the slipstream here on Verstappen. There we go, we're gaining now. Going to carry the momentum through the fast swooper. Inside line. And there we go, the move is done. Keeping it nice and tight on the apex to make sure Verstappen doesn't switch back underneath. But that is P5 for us. On the same tyre as Max as well. Do we have genuine race pace? I guess we'll find out. That top 4 is still just up the road there, not too far. So let's try and keep on getting our head down, setting the lap times. And you never know, we could actually be in the money here today. We've just got to keep doing what we're doing. But so far, our car does feel great, I can't lie.
Hamilton has the lead.
And that should be enough of a gap.
Car in front is 3.3 seconds.
Right, we're clear of Verstappen to turn 1. So now let's do a good first sector and crack off the leaders. I hate how I can't see the apex is a turn 1 and turn 2, but turn 1 is way worse. I cannot see the apex at all. We've got a Force India catching up to us. I'm guessing that's Sergio Perez. They both qualified quite outside the top 10, so they've had a great start. At least Perez has, and he's making very swift progress here. We're actually catching up to the front 4 here. Slowly but surely, we are closing that gap. Perez is so fast. He's got past Verstappen, and he's already flown up to the back of me here. That Force India is by far the second best car now, at least behind Ferrari. At least Perez is in anyway. He's so bloody fast. Not a great exit out there. Perez might be close. He's gaining. I just don't want him to get on the inside through this corner, otherwise it's going to completely ruin my momentum. He's still so close. That Force India is incredibly fast on the straights. I'm trying so hard to keep him behind. We're keeping Ricciardo and Lewis in our sights here, who are battling at the moment. The Ferraris are now 1-2 and starting to put some space between themselves and the rest of pretty much the entirety of the grid. So we're doing a good job here holding down P5, and this is a net P5. Perez's supersofts are a couple laps fresher because he got knocked out in Q2. But we're still doing a good job here. We're holding on, slowly burning off all of my ERS, but if it means to stay in front, I'll keep doing it. Perez is gaining. I can hear him coming at me very quick. He's gone up the inside very last minute. I'm going to hold it on the outside though. Perez though goes around the outside, but I'm going to squeeze him onto the curb on the exit. A ruthless move, but it had to be done. He's really putting the pressure on now.
Front is 3.0 seconds.
Okay, now Verstappen's actually overtaken Perez, I just realised.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs.
We're coming in lap 11 in theory. But right now, Verstappen and Perez are really starting to put the pressure on. It seems like with my tyre wear, I'm struggling to keep up. That extra lapping, not that extra lap, that extra 2 or 3 laps I've got on the tyres because of the Q2 run, are definitely hurting me a bit. I need to weather the storm, and then I'll be okay in the final stint. I'm scheduled to come in lap 11. I did get offered a strategy change to come in this lap, lap 9, so I'll see what the leaders do, and I'll respond to that accordingly. But right now, we're having to defend from Verstappen again on the back straight. Here he comes, he's getting close, he's gaining on me. We're going to cover off the inside a bit, but not by a lot. I'm going to go on the outside of Max, carry the speed, and that is a lovely move. Defending absolutely beautifully at the moment, staying ahead of all the big boys here. And we've got Bottas now joining in on the party, and Pierre Gasly not too far behind, and the other Toro also are there. So it's all kicking off here in this battle for P5. Right, Perez is close. He might attack me into turn 1. Not quite. We're scheduled to come in this lap, so we've done okay to get the tyres this far, but we need to hold on for this one more lap. Not a great exit out of the chicane. Perez is going to be on the back of me here. I'm going to force him wide. There we go, he backs out of it, doesn't want to commit to the outside line. Nicely defended, and we're now going to come in this lap for our first and only stop of the Grand Prix. Expect a massive pit stop battle, I think. Alright, penultimate corner, here we go. Into the final corner. Doesn't really matter about the tyres now. Burn up the rears if I have to. Get it slowed down to 60, there we go, decent entry. Right then. So in the pit lane, I'm actually surprised there's no one here. So it looks like all the AI is staying out for one more lap, which is quite interesting. We're going to come out, or come in this lap, should I say. Try and get the undercut and use the fresh tyres. Hopefully with these fresh tyres we can try and stay in front. We're going to drop down quite a bit. It's critical that we do get some clean air if possible. So here we go. Off the limiter.
Stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
It's going to be neck and neck with Nico Hülkenberg. We just come out in front of him, so that's good news. Now we've got to try and pull away here. Let's get up to speed. Right, on the last lap, Grosjean has retired. Stroll has car problems, and the big boys are in the pit lane. So here we go. This pit exit's going to make it awkward. Up to speed now. Here we go. I can see them leaving the pit exit now. Here we go. There's Perez. There's Bottas. We're going to have to avoid him. Perez has stayed in front, but he's going to be on not that warm tyres, so we might have a chance of catching up to him. There's Grosjean on the right. Sainz is going to act as a buffer for me to really close up to Perez. We need to get past Perez here if we can, to not lose that position, net position should I say. Here we go, through the swooping right. Open up the taps on the exit. Pick up the ERS. That Force India is so quick. I can see already. It just pulls away on the straights. He's going to go for the move on Sainz, a relatively straightforward one here. Let's just close up the gap. Like I said, yellow flag for Lance Stroll, I think that is. On the power nice and early there. Let's pick up the toe off of Sainz in the Renault. He's actually got some pretty good straight line speed there. He's keeping up quite nicely. He's a relatively fresh super soft because he started on the Ultras, remember, so...
The car behind has come in. They're now on the soft tyre. Softs on the car behind.
Very wide through there. I'm going to get on the power on the exit. Up the inside of signs. I just force my way through. I'm cooking these tyres at the minute, but I'm doing what I've got to do to make the moves and not let Perez get out of my sight. Hopefully I would have nabbed some DRS as well for the pit straight. Hopefully. As Ericsson comes in, we didn't get DRS unfortunately.
Caution, caution.
Personal best, there's a Red Bull in the pit lane, we're ahead of him. Right then. Let's get after Perez if we can. Oh my god, Stroll just made that hella awkward for Perez. Up the inside. Aggressive move, that was my chance to pounce. Thanks to Lance Stroll parking his car right on the apex. I might be on the back foot now though, but I had to go for that overtaking opportunity here. So far Perez isn't close enough, it looks like we've got that one done. Which is great news. Let's try and pull away if we can. We've got fresh tyres, now it's an equal playing field on tyre wear. This could be my best chance to try and put some distance between myself and the guys behind. Ericsson now out of the race in the Sauber. Here comes Perez again. He's going to have the momentum. I'm going to squeeze him to the inside as much as I can. I'm going to go wide into the brake zone. There we go. Beautifully executed. Nice and deep on the brakes. The problem is now Bottas has joined in on the party here. Again, here comes Perez. I'm going to cover off the inside. Yellow flag in front. There's Stroll still recovering. Got to be careful here. I think Bottas just got clipped. No, okay, maybe not. Looks like everyone avoided Stroll, who was right on the apex again. Right, so far, I'm matching my personal bests. I'm running at a strong pace and I'm able to save a little bit of ERS. Perez can't really get a super good run on me at the moment, which is good news. Right, Perez is going to be on me this lap. I'm having to save some ERS because I'm running low. Here he comes. Good old squeeze. I'm going to try to go for the outside again. There we go. We still can make that move work. And I think we've got a bit of a distance to us. Yep, it looks like Perez is going to be under attack from Bottas behind. So that's going to buy me some precious time. Need to save some ERS while I can.
We think we may see some rain. ETA is about 15 minutes.
Oh, that probably won't affect us, to be fair. That rain. I need Bottas to make the move on Perez to try and disrupt him. Perez is so fast. Well, I've had a poor exit there. Perez is going to be on the back of me. I'm going to cover off the inside slightly. Make sure he stays behind. He's looking for the outside. He's holding it in there, to be fair, but he's just going to back out at the last moment. This is a real challenge here. Perez is just frustrating me so much this race. Gasly and Bottas are now just permanently in this battle, so I kind of wish they'd disrupt Perez's rhythm a bit, the same way he's been disrupting mine all race. I'm also trying to get ERS back on side. I want to have loads of ERS deployed later on in the closing stages of the Grand Prix, so I'm having to really use none whenever I can, really. Okay, this lap I finally have quite a bit of ERS saved up, around 75%, so I'm trying to bolt here and also see if Perez gets overtaken, or at least he goes side by side with Bottas, to say the very least. I'm trying to see if something kicks off between the two of them. Gasly also not too far behind, but I'm trying to break these guys now. A couple laps to go. I'm trying to really open up the gap. Personal best, there we go. You can see Perez though, he's following me. I just can't shake him off. I just hit a purple first sector, 3/10 up on anything I've done in this race, but Perez is just, look how he gains in the straight, man. Ridiculous speed. And now I've had a terrible exit out of there. He's on the inside. I'm going to squeeze him a bit, try and compromise his line. Can we go on the outside? Not quite, but we switch back underneath. Contact. Oh my god. In my opinion, I was on the inside there. I had a right to go for that. Perez turned in on me. Luckily though, nothing bad came from it.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
I've just put in the purple middle sector. I've had a fantastic sector 2 and I'm really putting some distance between myself and Perez, and actually Gasly is really starting to lean on him now and try to put the pressure on. This might be the chance. Now Perez might have just cracked under pressure here or made a mistake, but to be fair, that was my best second sector of the entire race. It's rare that I do a purple middle sector. Let's keep this going here. I'm trying to break his DRS if I can.
Okay, we think the effects of the tyre deg are going to kick in soon. We should be alright for the time being, but you will start to find it a bit more slippery out there.
I mean, look at that personal best I've just put in there. A massive statement that I'm trying to still push hard here. I'm relying on Gasly to try and get the job done. If we can get 5th and 6th as a team, that'd be fantastic, and beat the man that's second in the championship in the Force India, and also beat Bottas as well, who's right there in the Mercedes. Another purple first sector here, pushing to the max. Really trying to get this gap out to Perez. He's just hanging on to my DRS, and it's basically making
5 minutes until rainfall expected. 5 minutes until rain.
Making it impossible to pull away. Right, to the last lap of the Grand Prix here.
This is your final lap of the race.
Perez has picked up the pace. He's going to come at me in turn 1. I'm going to have to go defensive into the first corner. Perez goes for the outside. I'm going to just hold on and go for the squeeze. That's opened up a bit of a gap, and that's put him right vulnerable to Gasly here. This might be my chance to try and get that 1 second gap that I wanted right on the last lap of the Grand Prix. Got to get this corner absolutely perfect. There we go. He's well over a second behind now. Beautiful. I can just manage my fuel with my ERS now. He's going to have to contend with Gasly and Bottas on the back of him, and he's got no DRS this time. I'm going to watch this on the minimap, and let's see if Gasly's got alongside Pierre. He's done it. Come on, Pierre. You got this, son, in your home race. Bring it home for the team. Perez holds on. I need to save some fuel here. Right then, Sebastian Vettel wins again, 2 in a row. He dominates the French Grand Prix. We've managed to hold on. We're going to go through the final corner, and we're going to come home for a fantastic P5, a position up from where we qualified, and we beat Sergio Perez. Get in.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Right, so looking at the final race results, Sebastian Vettel wins the French Grand Prix. I was going to say Chinese Grand Prix there. He wins the French Grand Prix ahead of Kimi Raikkonen, and the Ferraris once again comfortably winning the race. Everyone pulling off the one stop pretty much is there, except for the Renaults, as the qualifying pretty much meant everyone could start on the tyre they wanted, which, you know, gives even more merit to my P5 and how we defended and controlled that race. Ultimately, Raikkonen got second behind Vettel. Ricciardo ran off the podium. He was too quick for Lewis Hamilton today. We got P5 ahead of Perez and Valtteri Bottas. Pierre Gasly unfortunately got beaten by Bottas right at the end. And then we have Ocon in 9th and Max Verstappen riding out the top 10. And Kevin Magnussen also, who started last, P11. Good performance from him in the Haas there. And further down the order, Grosjean and Ericsson retiring from the Grand Prix. In terms of the standings though in the championship, we are in P3. Vettel really putting a lead out now. 25 points to Sergio Perez in second, and 28 to myself. 33 to Ricciardo, and 41 to Kimi. 44 to Bottas, 49 to Verstappen, and 59 points to defending champion Lewis Hamilton. So Vettel doing a massive job so far this season. In the constructors, you can see Ferrari also dominating by 41 points, and we currently are in P5. No changes here, but Ferrari with the upgrades pushing on and really making massive steps towards the championship early on, and a massive statement of intent from the guys in red. But now let's move into the laptop.
Good day today. Tell us about it from your perspective. You're surpassing all expectations. Can anything or anyone stop you? The weather was miserable today, but do you feel this was an advantage for you? What happened with your fuel strategy today? Great, well that's everything.
Right then, so it's time for a contract negotiation, and it's time to really start getting the things that I want. I think, you know, we're doing our job. Unfortunately, the difference is, if you look at our value compared to our contract value, this time we're not really that high, or our contract value is actually exceeding what our value is to the team. So let's see what we can do here, but I'm curious to see if we can get anything else out of this. Right, so what I've done is I've maxed everything out in the contract perks. Everything is level 3, except for the thing that's changed from my previous contract is my expected race position. I've changed that from 10th place to 8th place. I'm probably going to get rejected, but I'm curious to see how far up the slide of this goes.
They didn't like those terms. Let's try again.
Right, that's fair enough. So let's be a little bit more fair. So I reckon, right, back to level 2. We've got level 2 pit stops, level 2 simultaneous development. Let's see what they say to this one.
We're asking for too much here. We need to make some compromises.
Wow, really? Jeez. I'm surprised. Wow, that's surprised me quite a bit. Right, I'm going to try again, but what I've done is I've basically upped my position from 8th to 7th, but I've gone back to level 3 on simultaneous development. Let's see what they say.
I'm afraid negotiations have broken down, and there's nothing more I can do. Luckily, we had the team's original offer to fall back on, so we've agreed to those terms. We'll have another chance to negotiate down the road.
Wow, so that's not ideal. We've been put back to second driver. Wow, that surprised me. I can't lie. I'm a bit gutted about that. We've gone backwards quite a bit, and they're expecting me to finish 4th in the race. Oof, this is going to be a tricky one. I can't lie. That ain't looking good for me. I'm not really happy with that one bit. We've messed up that negotiation quite badly. Right. Anyway, upgrade time. What can we do to try and improve and try and help ourselves out with that fourth place, basically, that they want me to get? We have to look at different areas. Now, engine-wise, we're the 3rd best. Ferrari are ridiculous for straight-line speed. Force India are way, only halfway, but I refuse to believe that. They are so quick in the straights. Aero-wise, as you can see, we are 4th best. Not too bad. They're Force India right behind us. In the chassis, we are currently 5th best. Force India making big upgrades here. Now, there's quite a few things we can do here to link up a lot of the trees and, really improve the car in different places. Now, brakes could be a place where we improve. It's not something that I normally do for upgrades. We've got tyre wear, a lot of options, a lot of things that we could potentially improve. I'm not really sure where I lie. We've got drag, which is going to be a big one, but these are very big upgrades, especially that one there on the barge, because that's a massive aero upgrade. So, I think we just got to look at simple upgrades for this one. We've got 1,200 points to spend. Let me work out some numbers and let me see where I spend these points. Right, I want some instant performance and the chassis needs some work. So we're going to go for a weight reduction on the car. And that will arrive in Austria. And I've got 400 points to spend already starting in the next episode, where we're going to really try and maybe buy 1 or 2 major upgrades. But all in all, I'm very happy with what we've done in this episode. Also, I'm having some thoughts. I kind of fancy a bit of a different challenge already. Who knows? There might be a mid-season switch on the cars to Red Bull. You never know. In the next contract window, I might try and line something up. I also have an urge to go to McLaren. I'm not sure why. I want to drive the orange car. I want to drive the Papaya and make them a top 3 team again, but that remains to be seen. You never know. McLaren could buy me out of my contract, but that last contract has really pissed me off. That's not really something I'm happy with, and the fact we have to get, as a second driver, we have to get 4th place in the race is ridiculous. So, yeah, I'm not really... That doesn't really sat that well with me, I can't lie. In terms of the messages, though, you can see here, Carl's pretty happy with everything, how it went. We've got no classic events, so the next race will be Austria. Hopefully, we can bring home a good result there. Pressure's on. We got 2nd there last year, so 4th could be possible in terms of beating that objective. But let's take it one step at a time and let's see what happens. Overall, guys, if you enjoyed the episode, drop a like. Also, do get subscribed to my channel, guys, for daily Formula 1 content. Turn on notifications to not miss a single video from me. And finally, check out these 2 videos on screen if you have missed them. But other than that, thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode very soon. Goodbye.